Hey guys, Pie Guy Rules here, and I am disappointed in you guys. Like, all of you guys. Maybe I'm not disappointed in like a very, very few of you, but I'm disappointed in most of you. Because here I am. I'm at college, I'm busy, you know, I'm in my own little social bubble here. I live in the city, so I don't always get to keep up with news and cartoony news, things that I actually care about or care about for the purposes of these videos. So I mostly rely on comments from viewers like you. Yes, I'm channel 13 for some reason. To keep my show going, basically. I rely on you guys to help me with news and to let me know what's going on, and then I check it out, and then I cry a little bit inside, and then I come here and review it. But there is a show that like none of you have mentioned. Nobody is talking about this show. I heard it from my friend, like, who lives next door, next room over. I heard it from him, and like not a lot of other people here at college, so it's not even like it's a big college thing. I just heard it from him. But yeah, no one. I maybe have gotten a few comments that I don't remember, but as a whole, no one has mentioned this show to me. The show I'm talking about is Gravity Falls title, and I think I know why nobody really knows about this show. Nobody's talking about this show. Nobody's seen this show. It's on Disney Channel. Not even Disney XD, which I'm not saying is better than Disney Channel, but at least you look to Disney XD for cartoons. You don't even look to Disney Channel for cartoons anymore. I see how like it's such a travesty. But here's the thing. Disney Channel, a brief history of animation on the Disney Channel. Originally, like long time ago, I mean, I don't even know if originally, but a long time ago, they had like the Disney Afternoon stuff, and most of the shows were either direct animated series of, you know, their movies. Like they had Little Mermaid, the animated series, they had Hercules, they had Timon and Pumbaa, which is actually a subversion because it was about hold your breath, Timon and Pumbaa, instead of, you know, Simba. But they had a bunch of these shows. I mean, virtually all of their animated movies had series, and that worked for them. And that's not to say they didn't have originals. They had Recess and all sorts of other things, and Gargoyles, which I've never seen, but I hear is a really good show. But anyway, as times moved on, eventually Disney Channel animated. They tried some things. They tried things like the Buzz on Maggie, and they tried, I don't know, those kind of shows, and they never really took off. I don't think, like Fish Hooks is a more recent example. There's shows that never really took off, but weren't, I mean, like, I guess weren't awful. They're just kind of, Disney Channel knows they're going to have these shows for 2 seasons and cancel them and be done, you know, and then they'll have a little bit of stuff to rerun at 3 in the morning, you know, they'll have a nice little run for 2 years, whatever. That's kind of how Disney Channel operated on those kind of shows. And Disney Channel eventually ran out of you know, animated movies to make series about. I do believe the last one was Lilo and Stitch the series. One of the, yeah, probably the last one. They stopped making animated movies, and nobody wanted to see Home on the Range the series. Trust me. So yeah, recently Disney Channel. Oh, and also things like DuckTales, which are, as I mentioned, not directly based off of a movie, but kind of based off of existing Disney franchises. What we have nowadays is basically Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb. Like, that's all we get. And I love Phineas and Ferb. I really do, but I watch that on Netflix. There's no way I will turn on the Disney Channel. Not for anything. You know, and I mean, we even had Kim Possible, which came back for a little while. Man, was that a great show. But we had that. And Brandy and Mr. Whiskers, that was another good original, but I'm getting way off target here. There's a lot to talk about with Gravity Falls. So I was really surprised to see Gravity Falls on Disney Channel, because Disney had basically exported all of its cartoons over to Disney XD, which is its spin-off channel, which pretty much shows the same kind of crud you'd see on Disney Channel, which ranges from, I hear, like, just pretty much mixed reviews. You know, tell me things like Pair of Kings. Tell me that's not something that you would have already seen on Disney Channel. But whatever, I digress. So it kind of surprised me when I heard it was on Disney Channel. I assumed the worst. I really did. But after having seen it, I'm kind of Disney made a smart choice here. It really did. And maybe, I don't know if you can hear that. People are screaming outside my door. I don't understand what goes on here at college. But Disney Channel, I'm sorry. I kind of had high hopes that Disney Channel was basically saving itself. Like, Phineas and Ferb was there, so it's not like they had completely cut the cartoons. But maybe, you know, they're going to outsource everything to Disney XD, and if something comes along that's really good, they'll put it on Disney. And I think that's what happened. Because Gravity Falls is a show, and there's only, mind you, there's only about 10 episodes as of the time I'm talking about this. It's a show about conspiracies. It starts off, you see it, and you kind of think, okay, it's your typical, you know, there's two kids, I don't know, I don't remember if they're twins, but they're siblings, close in age, I think they're twins. And they go off, and they're at this, like, summer camp area, and they have to work at their Grunkle Stan, that's Great Uncle Stan's, little cabin in the woods, and they work there, and, you know, they have kind of like camp-like, it's not actually a camp, but, you know, they have outdoorsy adventures, like there's a small town, and, you know, and you see, you know, you'll see things like Bigfoot in the theme song, and you kind of think it's going to be a Monster of the Week type thing, and it kind of is, but it's not a Monster of the Week show per se. It's kind of a sci-fi element of the week show, if you will, but even that carries over, because the brilliant thing about Gravity Falls that not a lot of shows understand is continuity. Now, continuity in a show, cartoons, it's been a rough time, because I guess it's hard work keeping up continuity, especially if the show runs on a long time. You know, you can't expect the rules of the Fairly Odd Parents to work for the past, like, 12 years that it's been on. It'd be nice if they did. It'd be nice if everything was congruent, but it's not. You know, so, you know, I understand why not a lot of shows do it, but the shows that do it, and do it right, like I mentioned, Gargoyles, like Korra, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, the shows that really get it right and really kind of understand that when you're a kid, even when you're an adult, when you're a teenager, when you watch these shows, it's not old times. You don't see a cartoon character for 7 minutes in a little Bugs Bunny short and, you know, not care that they have, like, different hair the next time you see them in a short. This is a series that is going to be continually running, and you kind of expect certain things from it. You expect kind of almost real-life properties from it, and when it emulates real life, it shows that there's little details in there that means the creators cared and the writers cared, and it makes us care more because it brings more realism to the show. And it's also fun to play around with continuity. And it gets it right. Gravity Falls gets it right without... There's not really even a story arc, per se. Like, there's a mystery going on, but it's not story arc as in, like, every episode leads into each other like The Last Airbender. Or, sorry, Avatar: The Last Airbender, not the movie. But I'll give you an example. In, like, the first or second episode, I think it's the second episode, there's, like, these wax mannequins that come to life, and they're fighting them, and they fight them on the roof, and the S of the Mystery Shack, which is where they work, their Uncle Stan owns it, and it's basically like a, you know, like a really phony, like, here's the Sasquatch's arm, and it'll be like, you know, a sweatshirt sleeved with, like, hair taped onto it. Like, it's a really crummy shack, but everyone, you know, all the tourists buy into it. Basically, the S falls off the Mystery Shack sign, so it says Mystery Hack. And that happens in the theme song, too. And the rest of the series, it is Mystery Hack, and you see the S fallen. Little things like that. In another episode, there's a time-traveling story, and basically, I'm not going to spoil what it is, but like, you see all the other episodes before it kind of lead up to it in a little secret, hidden way. And that's the thing about the show, too, is that it also has a lot of secrets. In the theme song alone, you YouTube search this, and you'll see a lot of videos outlining this, that there's, like, for one frame, you see the Sasquatch in the opening theme. If you pause it on the book, which is, like, the main character, Dipper, finds this book, and, like, after he finds the book, all these weird things happen, and the book kind of explains some of them somewhat, but we don't know anything about the book. But it shows the book in the theme, and, like, you can see things, like the symbol on Dipper's hat is a symbol in the book, you know, and just, like, little conspiracy things, and the show is great, and it's funny, it's very self-aware, too, you know, in very much, like, Phineas and Ferb fashion. That was a lot of alliteration. It is very, you know, self-referential, like, you know, Like, he clones himself. Dipper clones himself in one episode, and he's like, "You're not gonna turn evil on me." And he's like, "Nah, I wouldn't do that." And they don't. I mean, they kind of turn against each other, but they're not, they don't turn evil, and it's understandable. And like I said, it's not even just a monster of the week. It's kind of a sci-fi element of the week, and it carries over. Like, Mabel, the other main character, she gets a pig in one episode, and in the next episode, she's still got a pig, and the pig is there. And the creator, he's kind of a young guy too. He said, that's there because my sister always wanted a pet pig as a kid. It's very loosely based off of his childhood, and it gets so many things right, and the show is so funny too. It's a nice balance between adult humor and kid humor, because nothing, to my knowledge, I don't remember anything being like a really dirty joke, or even like maybe like a mild reference to something. But nothing is even like Rocko's Modern Life level of, even your kids will kind of tilt their head at this. Nothing is remotely offensive, and nothing, and yet the humor is still intelligent. It's very intelligent, but not in like a dirty way that's inappropriate for kids. My friend argued that one episode has a retarded joke, but I disagree. And either way, and here, to add, credentials to this show, in the episode with the wax mannequins, they actually get the people who the mannequins are based off of to voice them. Not like Abe Lincoln or anything, but they get Coolio and Larry King, of all people. Like, how are kids gonna even know who Larry King is? But it's still there, and it's still realistic, and Larry King's like making fun of himself for being like a dinosaur, and it's great. The show is really enjoyable, and fingers crossed that Disney will really treat it with respect. So far, it kind of hasn't been. Like, it's been airing like every other Friday. It's got a weird Friday schedule. But there's so much about the show that I like. There's so much about it that is different. It is a fresh breath of air in a very similar way that Phineas and Ferb is, or kind of is. I still think Phineas and Ferb is relevant. I do. But, Gravity Falls. Even the name, Gravity Falls, it's a pun. I mean, not only does gravity actually fall, who would have known, but it refers to the place which has a waterfall, like Gravity Falls. Get it? And in most episodes there's like a bit where they show like a 5-second clip of a TV show, and it's kind of like makes fun of not a direct parody, but it makes fun of like TV trends, and then the characters will talk about it, and like all the characters are great. Grunkle Stan is hilarious. Mabel, I like her because she's weird. She's not stupid. She's a bit, spacey. But that's it. She's not stupid. And one of my pet peeves is stupid characters. I feel like it's way overdone. I feel like it's easy to make a character just flat out stupid, but it's difficult to make a character that has a specific flaw that can make them stupid in certain circumstances. Like, for instance, ignorance to a subject. It's much easier to just say, this character is stupid, they say stupid things, herp to derp derp derp, like Patrick on SpongeBob. It's easy to do that. It's difficult to make a character who's just kind of weird, and very enjoyably so. And even, you watch the first episode, and I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a big subversion that you don't see coming. Like, there's an obvious answer, and then there's... I can't believe they just did that. It's a great show, and I'm very excited to see where it takes it. There's a lot of love going into it with the creator and the writers, and just everything about the show is great. Like, they nail everything. And it's a half hour long too, every episode, which I don't want to say is a first for a Disney Channel cartoon, but honestly, I can't even remember. Was Gargoyles? Maybe Gargoyles was. Like I said, I hadn't seen it. But I think it might be the first, if not one of the first, to be a purely half-hour Disney cartoon. That's pretty cool. And like I said, the fact that Disney Channel gave it a chance when it seems they kind of cut out all of their nonsense is a good sign. Granted, they also canceled Brandy and Mr. Whiskers before it even got its full 2 seasons, so that's kind of depressing. That was a good show. So, fingers crossed, Disney Channel. I don't even know what goes on in your live action section, nor do I really even want to. But, keep making Phineas and Ferb. Please don't ruin it. And, give Gravity Falls the respect it deserves. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little informal review. And, Hey, it's good to be excited about a cartoon for once, right? Alright, bye guy rules, out.